Good afternoon, Friendship Manor family. I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask. As you all know, we now are wearing masks to protect our wonderful residents. It's been a few weeks since I last spoke to you, and I am very pleased to let you know that currently Friendship Manor does not have any resident on our entire campus that is under suspicion or has been tested or has COVID-19. And for that, we are so grateful and thankful. And I believe that our rigorous screening is working. We are so pleased of how our employees have stepped up over the last month. As many of you know, we've been at this a month now, and so we have been working nonstop to keep our residents and our community safe. I'm very pleased that over the last week we made a decision to begin to pay hero pay to our staff. We know our staff are absolutely wonderful, wonderful people. In times like this, some people run away from the fire. Our staff has been running towards the fire. So effective April 4th and until this pandemic ends, we're going to pay hero pay, and we increased all of our hourly employees significantly. So as you can see, we not only are focused on taking care of our residents and families, but also our wonderful staff. I am very pleased to let you know that we have not had any layoffs of our staff. Even though our census is declining very, very slightly, we are committed to keeping our employees gainfully employed, and will do every effort to the best of our ability to keep all of our employees working, albeit maybe in different capacities. This week you saw our therapy staff actually exercising with our residents out in the parking lot, of course social distancing, of course. But we're going to do our best to keep our staff gainfully employed. For our residents, we know that this time has been extremely challenging, not being able to come out of into the community, to the dining rooms and activities and our bistro. But we're following our governor's order of sheltering in place. And what that means is that we are doing our very best to keep our residents on campus. So there are on occasions where residents have to go off campus for medical necessary appointments. When that happens, we will make masks available. We ask all our residents, and we're asking the families, make sure that your loved one knows that they are required to wear a mask. We want them to wear a mask. We also want them to practice great universal precautions, sanitizing their hands, and when they get back, we would encourage them to take a shower, to change clothes, and to do everything they can. Also reminding them not to touch their face. And again, these are simple things that we're going to continue to remind our residents each and every day. We understand that caring for our residents is not only physical, but it's emotional and it's spiritual. And we're recognizing as this thing continues and drags on, that we need to continue to look at new and creative ways that are going to meet those needs. And just this morning, we talked about at our leadership team meeting. Every morning we meet to discuss challenges, and we are making it a number one priority as the weather changes and it gets nicer, that we're going to try to do as much as we can to meet those needs that our residents have. And so we appreciate your patience as we continue on with this pandemic. I'm pleased to let you know that we have applied for an SBA loan We're not sure if we're going to get that. We hope we do. We did apply on time, and we got our application in before the deadline, and so that's always good. And I want to thank our accounting staff for getting that vital application in. I'm very pleased to let our Friendship Manor family know that the United Way came through a disaster relief grant of $20,000. We're so grateful to United Way and our community for that gift. That will help us certainly defray costs here as we continue. We've also seen countless gestures from our community. We've seen PPE masks come in, notes, cards, signs, balloons, flowers, people singing in the parking lot, people playing beer pong from their balcony. We have had, in many ways, so much fun learning how to do life again as we're in the middle of all this. But I want you to know how proud I am to be a Quad Cityan today. I was reading an article this morning about how some folks in our industry, the nursing home, continuing care, retirement community industry, are kind of feeling they're all alone in this. And I got to tell you that I don't feel that at all. I feel with our families, residents, and staff and community, we feel your outpouring, we feel your love, we feel your prayers, and we're so appreciative of all of those things. So, what to expect next? We are about in the second quarter, if I can use that illustration. On our conference call this week with the Quad City Coalition partners and our ACO hospitals, they are telling us that we're going to peak in our area about April 26th or 27th with the COVID outbreak. And they're also telling us that it'll probably be until the middle of May until we're actually on the back end of this first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are, like I said, we're about almost to halftime. We got about another 6 weeks. We've been at this for a month. And we have to keep that in mind as we continue to look at ways to care for our residents. You know, we are, I heard an illustration yesterday, we are in a marathon, but we're in a marathon running with our hair on fire. So we recognize that this is not a sprint now, and in business for quite some time may be much different, but we will keep you certainly updated as we go forward. At this holy time of the year, I would just like to pause in recognition of that. This week, our Jewish brothers and sisters had the opportunity to celebrate Passover, and that was done in a much different way than it's normally done. But I've heard wonderful things from my friends, how unique it was and how special it was, and we are so grateful for our brothers and sisters that were able to celebrate Passover. And us, as we move forward with Good Friday as Christians, we know that this is a day of reflection and of atonement. And we, as we move into the weekend and we begin our celebration of the empty tomb, we can only just say we are so grateful to God for the blessings, provisions, protections, and His hand upon us. We garnish your continued prayers and your continued support. I want all of you to know that I am always available if you need to reach out to me, and I will take as much time as any of you need to share. But with that, I want to wish you a wonderful Easter. I want to thank you for your continued support, and I want to continue to ask God's blessing upon us, our community, and the United States of America. God bless you.